I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Board of Trustees, Friday, September 24th, 2021 at 10 a.m. If we could start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I thank you for attending this special meeting. I'll start with the roll call. President Schultz is currently absent. I am Secretary Treasurer Horowitz. I am present. I'll be running the meeting today. Trustee Ed J. Warner Jr.
He's here. He's here.
Okay, you let him in?
I did.
Hey, Ed.
I'm here.
Okay, I got Trustee William Pell IV
Present.
and Trustee Ann Welker.
Here.
Okay, so we do have a quorum. I'd like to read the notice. Please be advised that a special meeting of the Board of Trustees will be held via Zoom video conference on Friday, September 24th, 2021 at 10 a.m. for the purpose of considering the following: a trustee resolution number 2021-232 to authorize emergency opening and closing of Mecox Bay in order to decrease the water level. Trustee Welker, would you like to offer this resolution up for adoption, or would you like me to make that motion?
I can make the motion. Can we please approve this because, and I thank you for the special meeting so that we have a resolution until the end of the year to open Mecox when necessary. And it is necessary now. We plan on doing it first of the week, next week.
Okay.
What are the dates? Ann, what are the dates on it?
The date that it's going to be opened?
No, the date where it goes to.
Oh, Scott, I don't have that open. I don't have the
I
resolution.
will tell you,
I
we
believe.
resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes Chesterfield Associates Inc. to dredge an inlet from the ocean to Mecox Bay anytime during the time period of September 24th, 2021, up to and including December 31st, 2021, under the direction of the trustees in order to decrease the water level of Mecox Bay. So that is the official resolution that we are adopting today. So it'll take us through to the end of the year.
And it's Scott, it has to be the board direction, not one trustee, right?
Yeah, it does say under the direction of the trustees. So that is
The full board. Of the full
that's
board.
right.
Okay.
Correct.
I just
So
wanna
this
make it-
covers us. This covers us as a resolution, and obviously, as a board, we're going to have to collaboratively make those decisions based on the parameters that we always examine. But this will be the official document that's going to govern our authority to do that, so we don't have the need to be calling additional special meetings to handle that.
It's very costly in time. I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion. We have a second. Is there an all in favor?
Can we do a roll call vote, please?
Absolutely can. So President Schultz is absent. Secretary Treasurer Scott M. Horowitz. I am for this resolution. Trustee Ed J. Warner Jr.
I am not for this I am not for this resolution. I think because it's an emergency resolution that we've been working under for 3 years, and I feel that everybody in the state, Army Corps, and all the other permitting agencies have totally let the trustees in our constituency down. We've been opening it for 300 plus years with the parameters that we went and put into a Mecox management plan. And there are 4 homeowners and their attorney, Nika Strunk, which has been holding up the whole process for issuing our 10-year permit. So if it was under the 10-year permit, I would say yes. But being that it's under another emergency authorization, which creates more problem and more timely work in our office and everybody else, I am not in favor of it.
Excuse me. I don't want to interrupt, but should you have counsel present? Or is it not necessary?
Sean is not available. He's in court right now. I asked him if he needed to be here for this meeting to run, and he said that it obviously wasn't, it just was not possible.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think we need counsel present. I think we're
I just
okay.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Trustee-
he said it was
Thanks,
okay.
Charles.
Yeah.
Trustee Warner's concern and is duly noted and warranted. Obviously, if we did have a permit, it would be a lot easier for us to be managing this waterway, but because of the situation that we're under with the Department of Environmental Conservation, it makes it a lot more difficult, and time consuming and more cumbersome for the trustees to manage this waterway. It's a lot of additional steps. And again, you know, you're correct, Trustee Warner, because we are managing something that is a dynamic situation. We've had very rough seas over the last week. Today we've had very rough seas, and we've had torrential rains, which is making it even more difficult and putting more pressure on that entire watershed and ecosystem. I'm going to continue with the roll call. William Pell, the fourth.
I'm very proud what Ed said, and I feel that exactly what Ed said, and that home rule is always better than having someone up in the DEC office make our decision. I feel like we can open it anytime we want if we have cause to do it. So I agree with Ed, and it's a no for me.
Okay. So, but that being said, you know, I think you need to understand that if we don't pass this resolution, we're not going to be able to take an action, correct?
I feel this is why we should have counsel. I feel like we can open it without the DEC.
But this has, I don't think has anything to do with that. This has to do with, as you were saying, Trustee Pell, the board acting as a board and taking an action. I don't think this has anything to do with, because we do have authorization under the DEC's permission at this point in time, as opposed to a permit. I think this is the mechanism by which it's not a decision that's made by any one individual. It's a collaborative, vote of the board, of a majority of the board, in order for us to be able to take an action and direct Chesterfield to do this. So I think failing this resolution is going to be more detrimental to the ecosystem and to the homeowners that live on the interior of the bay. And I think it's going to put more pressure on the shellfish stocks and everything else that suffers when the water level is too high. And I think that it's going to be disastrous when all of this runoff makes its way into the Mecox Bay watershed. I don't think that this is the mechanism, by failing this resolution, that's going to be a solution to the problem of forcing the DEC to issue this permit. I think that this is more of an internal housekeeping resolution so that the board takes an action, collaboratively by having this discussion, and authorizes our contractors to take the action and do the dredging. So I would respectfully ask, before I go to Trustee Ann Welker and we fail this resolution, that perhaps you consider your position, because I don't think failing this resolution is helpful in making the point that we need to make. I did have conversations yesterday with Mr. John Halsey from the Conic Land Trust relative to setting up a meeting so that we could further our conversation with all the regulatory authorities and players around the table, so that we can continue to move in a sensible direction to attain this. Mr. Halsey was waiting for certain people to be able to attend that meeting. And we've made a decision yesterday to move that from an in-person meeting off to a video conferencing meeting, which is going to make it a lot easier for the folks that need to be collaborating together to try and move this in a direction to perhaps understand the stress and pressure that the trustees are under, and that the environment and this ecosystem is under. But again, I will caution you. I think that that's a better venue to make those points versus tying this board's hand and taking an action right now in giving the relief that waterway needs. immediately.
Can I make one more further statement? I would change my vote to a yes vote if we shorten the window to the October 1st date, and then we could have a further discussion before I vote again on this going forward. If that's something that the board would recognize doing, I would change my vote because I realize the situation down there, but I want to make a point across to the state and other permitting agencies and everybody in that pond that we've done everything in our power to give each agency all the information. For over 4 years, we've been doing this, and we've gotten no further today than we started out 4 years ago. So if we could change the resolution to read October 1st, and then we will have a vote later on before we open it again and have a further discussion, I would be in favor of changing my vote from a no vote to a yes vote. But if we want to go
Okay, so that's fair enough, and I think that will take pressure off of what needs to be done today, and we can get the waterway the relief that it so badly needs today. So I think that's fair and that's
Scott?
sensible. Yes, sir.
I agree with that. I'll do the same thing as Ed does. I feel that it's a crisis down there. It's been a crisis down there for the last 8 years with the DEC begging for a permit to open it. And we have to stand up to them eventually. I think this is a good time to do it. Just recall and amend the resolution.
Right. So that being said, I would like to make a motion to recall and amend Trustee Resolution 2021-232. And for the sake of clarity, October 1st, I'm going to read it in its entirety, just so that we're clear, okay? So I would like to recall and amend 2021-232 to read as follows, okay? Authorize emergency dredging of Mecox Bay in order to decrease the water level, whereas the Board of Trustees are owners of the land commonly known as the Mecox Bay, whereas the trustees desire to dredge Mecox Bay to decrease the water level, and whereas the trustees have received emergency authorization from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to dredge Mecox Bay, and whereas the laws of New York in 1892 and 1907 provide the trustees with the authority to dredge an inlet from the ocean into Mecox Bay as necessary, and whereas Chesterfield Associates, Inc. holds a current contract with Suffolk County for dredging, whereas when goods procured from a valid state, county, or legal applicable federal and cooperative entities, a contract exceeding the mandatory bidding threshold, i.e. $20,000 in goods, a resolution authorizing the purchase must be submitted and approved. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes Chesterfield Associates, Inc. to dredge an inlet from the ocean to Mecox Bay anytime during the time period of September 24th, 2021, up to and including October 1st, 2021, under the direction of the trustees in order to decrease the water level of Mecox Bay. I will put that resolution now forward and ask for a second.
Second.
Okay, now I'll do a roll call vote on this as well. So President Schultz is absent. Secretary Treasurer Horowitz, I've made the motion, so I am for it. Trustee Ed Warner Jr.,
Yes.
Trustee William Pell IV,
Yes.
Trustee Ann Welker.
Yes.
Okay, so motion carries on this resolution, and we will have to have a conversation and re-examine this prior to October 1st, so that if we get into another situation, we will be prepared for that. At this point in time, I would like to, if there's no further discussion on this, is there any further discussion on this matter?
No, I'm good.
No. Okay, so that being said, I will call public portion at this point in time. Is there anybody in the public that would like to speak?
There's no public.
And there's nobody that I see on the screen or anywhere relative to having a public portion at this point in time. Therefore, I will make a motion to close this meeting.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.